What's up, everyone? It's finally Tackle Tip Tuesday, and this week we'll be talking about one of my favorite techniques, so make sure you all stay tuned. What's up, everyone? So Tackle Tip Tuesdays are finally here, and for the first Tackle Tip Tuesday, I want to talk to you guys about a technique that I use pretty much everywhere I go, and it gets me bigger bites, and that's flipping a punch rig. We're headed down to Florida in a few weeks for the first invitational event, and I'm looking forward to that, and I'll definitely have a bunch of these tied on. Things I look for when I'm flipping a punch rig is toolies or isolated mats. I throw it in a lot of lily pads. Up here in Maine, we have a lot of pondweed, or we call it cabbage, and I'll flip that in thick clusters. I like to throw this thing anywhere you can't efficiently fish a jig, but you kind of gotta let the fish tell you if you can get away with this bigger profile. It will get you bigger bites, but it can also burn you. And if fish are shying away from this thing, then I'll pull the punch skirt off and try to downsize. A lot of times when they shy away from this, it's just from a lot of fishing pressure, or they're just really keyed on smaller bait, small crayfish or small bluegill. But flipping a punch skirt will definitely get you a lot bigger bites. My setup when I'm flipping a punch rig around, I really like to go with fluorocarbon when I can, 20 or 25 pound fluorocarbon. If I'm flipping thick mats, you got to go with braid or big clusters of toolies or bogey whips, and you'll just lose a lot of fish. You'll break them off if you're flipping fluoro in those places, but the fluoro seems to get you bigger bites. So every scenario is a little bit different, but just pay attention to that and go with fluoro when you can. My rod of choice for that, I have two rods that I really like to throw when I'm throwing in really thick matted vegetation or big clusters of grass. I like a Dobyns 805 flipping stick. If it's more isolated stuff I don't need that big rod for, Dobyns has a Caden 765 flipping stick, and that's a great rod, and from 1.5 ounces down to 3/8 ounce. So I'll use that if it's not too thick. And I always pair that on a high-speed reel. You want to be able to be efficient and make as many flips as you can and burn that bait right back in and flip to the next spot. The one thing with flipping these things around is this big weight, and you really got to pay attention to your hook set when you're doing that. You really can't slackline them. You got to reel down and kind of lean into them. If you slackline these fish with that big weight in their mouth, all it does is blow their mouth open, and you'll miss a lot of fish or end up losing a lot of fish because you get poor hook penetration in them. So definitely pay attention to that when you're setting the hook. Just you get that high-speed reel, crank down, and just put all your weight into them, and you'll stick them pretty much every time. My punch rig setup, I'm a big fan of the Woo Tungsten Never Chips. I mean, this one right here is, it's got to be 4 or 5 years old and still looks brand new. I've thrown this hundreds of times, and these things they don't chip. I like the new Dirty Jigs punch skirts. Dirty Jigs makes my favorite jig, and they just have awesome colors, and now you can get them all in a punch skirt. So that's the punch skirt I throw. And then my two favorite baits to throw on this is the Berkeley Maxent Creature Hog. This is the bait that I threw in Florida not last year, my rookie season, and we had a really good finish there, and pretty much all the big fish came on this bait here. And then this is the bait that I threw the first time I ever tied a punch rig up, and I've won a lot of money flipping this thing around. That's a big bite swimming craw, and I just love the movement of the legs on this thing. It slides through mats really good, and that's my go-to bait with this setup. So make sure you guys check all this stuff out, like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing y'all next week.